So we're going to get started. I just wanted to welcome everybody here to our office. We're the Marchant family. This is my dad, Jeff, over here. My name's Ashley. My mom, I think, is downstairs. She's Lynn. And we just want to welcome you here to our office. And I see some new faces. We do these lunch and learns every single week. And we open it up to any agents from any brokerages. And we've got some people here online on Zoom, multiple people from different states. But we encourage you guys to come back and to also invite anyone if you know of anybody that is looking for a better agent experience, because that's what we're looking to create here. So I'll just pass this to Jeff.
Thanks, Ash. Okay, guys, let's get going. Most of you probably know Spencer. I'm meeting some new faces in here because previous acquaintance with Spencer, and you did good inviting. We got good attendance for this class. I've had a sneak peek on this because he's done it for us before. And it's been a while though, so I'm glad we're gonna do a repeat. Spencer's a great instructor, great lender, great guy. We're happy to have him back in the office. Some people you just like are proud to associate with. So Spencer, glad to have you. Come on up, just give any introduction you want. This is a CE class where you're gonna have, you got a rule for the guys on the line on how they're gonna.
A couple.
Okay. Little tricks, we gotta perform some magic. And you guys here, we got a sheet going around if you haven't got that yet.
We get
So thank you for attending online on Zoom. Good to see you guys. And let's get started.
Okay. Okay, thanks for having me, all those online and all of you here in person. Super glad to be here. This is one of my favorite classes. I've done it once or twice, I don't know, here. And I think this is a subject that you can't get enough of. I think it's always a really good reminder. And I can tell you, we're going to go over a whole bunch of different things today. You're probably going to get maybe I don't know, drinking from a fire hose type situation where all the different ideas are just thrown at you. Don't feel like you need to implement everything to be successful. I would say find one thing, maybe two things that you feel fits your personality and your existing business, and something you can implement quite simple, like quite easily and quickly, and then run with it. And then don't move on to the next thing until you actually finish that one thing that you want to implement. Okay, you want to finish the bridge before moving on to the next bridge, right? So anyways, super glad to be here and talk about this and managing your database. Just a quick intro, I guess, on myself. I'm a mortgage guy. I've done it for, I don't know, 20 years, something like that. I lose count sometimes, but I wouldn't rather do anything else. I love it. It's been fantastic. I love working with numbers. I love working with people, helping them buy homes. I love first-time home buyers. I love working with realtors. You guys are awesome. I really enjoy teaching these classes. I became licensed as a CE instructor, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. And I got several classes that's approved for CE, but this is by far one of my favorites. I have others like managing, let's see, video marketing, for realtors. I've got social media that's for CE approved, and I've got maybe some more boring topics like credit and reverse mortgages and things like that, but this is definitely a fun one. For those of you online, just a few quick bullet points. I talked to the state several times. I'm always in communication with them. In order to get this approved for CE, for those of you online, I have to actually see your eyeballs. Okay?
Oh,
So no like turn off the camera and then walking away doing the dishes or going for a drive or whatever. Like, you have to actually pay attention. I've also got I've got 3 keywords throughout the course of the slide deck we're going to go over, and I need all 3 keywords at the end to be able to get credit if you're online. Okay, so those of you who here in person are off the hook. I can see your eyeballs, and you don't need to worry about the keywords. But let's maybe spend a couple minutes, not very long, maybe talking about mortgages and financing. I didn't come here today to talk about that, but since I'm here, I can maybe answer some questions. Does anybody have anything they want to go over briefly in regards to mortgages and finance?
One versus
yes.
the other.
Okay. So we started talking about this, but even before we started here, I have a flyer here. For those of you in attendance, I have a flyer that talks about a 2-1 buy down. Has anybody not heard of a 2-1 buy down? Okay, good. We know about the 2-1 buy down. So there's more than just a 2-1 buy down. There's a 2-1 buy down, there's a 1-1 buy down, a 1-0 buy down, a 3-2-1 buy down, all different types. What that means, so a 2-1 buy down is it's 2% lower for the first 24 months. Then it's 1% lower than the note rate for the next 12 months. So for the first 2 years, you've got 2% for the first 12 and 1%. If it's a 1-1 buy down, you still have a 2-year lower interest rate, but it's just 1% lower for the first 2 years of the 30-year mortgage. If it's a 1-0 buy down, it's just a 1-year discount on the interest. It's 1% lower for the first 12 months. And then it goes back to the note rate after that first 12 months, and that's a 1-0 buy down. If you do a 3-2-1 buy down, that's a 3-year window. The first year of the 3 years, it's 3% lower than the note rate. Second year is 2% lower. The third year is 1% lower. So obviously the 3-2-1 is the most expensive because the way it works with the cost of getting these buy downs, what's being paid for is basically the interest that's not being paid for that first 1, 2, or 3 years. Does that make sense? So that discount in payment, there's interest that's not being paid by the buyer. Every penny of that interest that's not being paid is the cost of the 2-1 buy down or the 3-2-1 buy. So, and something else you probably know is the seller has to pay for this. It cannot be paid for by the buyer. Okay. So the seller has to pay for it. Usually it's in the form of a concession. You write on the contract, seller concessions. Yes.
Let Genova ever take care of that stuff.
I don't think so. I think that's a seller concession. Really. Yeah. The question earlier was what's the difference or what's better, a 2-1 buy down or maybe a 3-year arm or a 5-year arm, right?
Yeah.
So the question was, is it better to pay the money for a buy down, or do you just have the buyer get like an arm loan and have a lower interest rate for the first maybe 3 or 5 years, right? What do you guys think? Any ideas on that?
I like the 3-1.
It's funny.
I don't like arms.
What's your goal? It's all about your goal. I mean, that's as much truth on the library loans back in the day.
Okay.
That's what your goal is.
Okay, yeah, so I think it depends on the long-term goals of the buyer, right? So obviously an arm, a 3-year arm or a 5-year arm, they have a lower interest rate for the first 3 or 5 years, however that's set up. But that's also adjustable, so it can go up or down over the next 30 years after that first window, right? Typically the arm rate, you're not going to get 2% lower on an arm, right? You might have maybe a half a point lower. Maybe in a good time, maybe depends on the investor. Every investor is different. Some investors are really aggressive on arm rates and arm pricing. I've never seen an arm be without paying extra to get that arm at a lower interest rate. I've never seen an arm get 2% lower than what they would get on a 30-year fixed. So unless you have an extremely aggressive investor with arms, which I don't have access to, I've never seen that. But that being said, those are the differences, right? So an arm loan is adjustable for the 30 years, right? Except for the first window for the 3 or 5 years. After that, it's going to adjust. If you get the 2-1 buy down, it's still a 30-year note. It's just that lower interest rate for the first 1 or 2 or 3 years. Does that make sense? What are your thoughts? Any
Bigger upfront savings.
It depends on
Okay.
the prepayment penalty, if there is one, and
on an arm?
price of the home. If you're dealing in multi-million-dollar houses, you have more aggressive 3-1, 5-1 arms versus the 2-1 buy downs.
Okay, yeah, so
Sorry.
you could have a really aggressive investor that has a really aggressive price. I don't know, totally possible. So I think what you should do if you have a buyer looking at a buy like a 2-1 buy down versus maybe a 3-year arm, a 3-1 arm, whatever. Let's look at both options. Okay, this is the 3-1, this is the price, this is the rate, and then let's look at the buyer's goals. Is it a short-term investment where they're okay with having the adjustability of the rate?
I have a lot of like Wall Street boys that they're in it 2 years and done. Let's go get another one.
Totally.
or
Okay,
something on-
so your clientele base might fit really well with that. I got you. Okay, good. Well, that's interesting. That's good discussion. So any other questions about the 2-1 buy down?
Sorry.
No, that's good. You're good. That's perfect. Okay, let's jump into managing your database.
Please.
So, and I'm welcome to all questions about, maybe after this hour, we can talk about a lot of other financing things and things like that. I love that. So, in my opinion, especially in this market, have you guys found that you have to spend more time and effort with marketing? Like in this market? More purposeful?
I spent the rest, actually.
What's that?
I spent the rest, my analytics is already automatic and my plan frankly.
Okay.
It's worth it.
So you've got the automation already set up.
I've got systems already in place.
Beautiful.
And I find that I've been traveling a lot more.
Okay, I love it. So those that have the database marketing set up, they're reaping the benefits, right? This is a good point. So, in my opinion, I feel like in my business, I have had to spend a lot more time and maybe a little bit more money on my marketing, just because I have more time, right? There's less business going around right now,
Right.
and I want more business, so I gotta work for it, right? Anyways, this is a lot of ideas for managing your database. A lot of these things, most of these things I do in my business. Like I said, don't feel like you need to do all of these things. But I'd say pick out 1 or 2. In fact, I'm going to ask everybody in the class, what's the one thing that you want to implement now as a result of listening to this class? Okay, so be ready for that.
Well, every time I click on this, it freezes.
Right.
That should work now.
There you go. Okay. So what is a database? Honestly, these are, in my opinion, the low hanging fruit. These are the folks that already know us, like, and trust us, right? These are your friends, family, and coworkers. These are the friends, family, and coworkers of the people that already know you. Like, these are the past clients and the friends, family, and coworkers of your past clients. Okay, this is how you tap into everybody else's database, right? And it is the lowest hanging fruit. You don't have to spend $5,000 a month on a billboard on the side of the freeway to be successful with business. I know you can be successful by doing that, but you don't have to. Okay, you can spend way less and be ultra successful by doing some basic stuff. Okay. I always like to say this: we're not really in the real estate business. We are in the marketing to our database business. Okay. In my opinion, if you want to be successful in real estate, you got to have those relationships, and you got to put yourself out there and market to them. Okay, like the key is to having a system in place that you can automate and have folks remember you in a good way and want to reach out to you when they have real estate questions. Okay, 90% of people say they would use their realtor again on their next home purchase. So basically, we're doing a really good job. Right? We close the deal and they're asked the question, would you use your agent again on the next deal? And 9 out of 10 times they're like, yes, absolutely, I would do that. Okay, so the next question is, how many people actually do use their realtor again on the next home, that same realtor on the next home purchase? Only 20% actually do. And these are facts, okay? Why do you think that is?
Lack of follow-up.
Lack of follow-up.
No, don't say anything.
Yeah, I don't think we mean to do that. I think we have all good intentions. I think we're human. I think we want to do it, but maybe we don't have the knowledge or the systems or the technology in place to do this, right? But I'm confident if we set that up, we would get these repeat customers again and again. Yes.
Personal experience, I have a friend who owns his own business, window tinting. And when it came to do window tinting, there's convenience. I totally forgot I wanted to like go by his shop on my own after I paid $2,000 for convenience. I got that by my office. I'm like, I am the biggest shit.
Oh,
This is a good friend of mine.
yeah.
And I'm like, I just paid some guy $2,000 cash to my wife's window. And it's a matter of that business was a block away from my office.
Yeah.
Take it down. Whereas my friend's business was a mile down away from my office. And I'm like,
You just said.
If you would have done just the most simple thing, like just an email, like maybe every other month. Like a text every once in a while, or
Yeah,
a
exactly.
letter in the.
I see in the gym, I sit down and say, oh my gosh. what
Yeah.
am I never told him that.
Yeah.
Now you have to hide your wife's card from
Oh, I love that, maybe.
So in the book Ninja Selling, they call it being in flow with somebody, because everybody says, oh, they'll use you if they know, like, and trust you. But if you're not in flow with whoever is there at the time of their decision, for proximity, that's what we use.
It's like immediate that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up. It's a great example. Here's some math on what I call the lifetime value of a client. And we can plug our own numbers in. I would say, let me ask you guys, what's average gross commission? I think maybe $10,000 is maybe conservative.
Gross. It doesn't matter after that.
Okay, so we can plug in maybe 10,000 take home or whatever you want to do, but maybe this is a conservative number, and you can reverse math as we go through this and put in the number you want. But let's talk about it, assuming $10,000 average gross commission per client, and let's talk about the lifetime value of a client. So you do the first deal with somebody, that initial purchase is $10,000. Awesome. Okay. How many more times did that person buy in their lifetime? 3 times? Okay, awesome. 2, 3, 4 times. It depends on the person, but at least 2 times, right? So let's say 2 more times, $10,000 times 2, $20,000, right? So now we're at 30,000. What happens if that person sends you a referral? And I would say 1 out of every 5 people refers. So 1 out of every 5 people will refer you something if you're managing your database correctly. That would mean every person is 1/5 of a transaction, which would be 20%. So that means $2,000 per person for every, does that make sense, that math? Okay, so basically the lifetime value of 1 client is $32,000, and this is conservative. Would you agree with that?
Very conservative.
Okay. Let's take this into the next step. What happens if we have a list of people? So that was 1 person. What if we have a list of people? Okay. Let's say you have 150 people. We're going to talk about how to get a list here in a minute. But let's say you have 150 people in your database. Okay. Would you say people move every 7 years, or is it every 10 years, every 5 years? How
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years?
What I read.
But I swear all my clients have been in the house 10+ years.
Okay.
The bulk of my clients have been in for a long time.
Okay. All right. I think it depends on the demographic, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the younger couples move more often, maybe,
Or the spouse.
or the spouse. Yeah.
or the interest rate.
So I put in every 7 years, people move every 7 years. Okay. So is it working?
That's because I clicked on it again, sorry. I was just checking the chat.
Chat. Okay, cool. Yeah,
I
yeah.
freeze everything when I get involved, sorry.
That's fine. Oh, yeah.
Stop touching.
I know, I was like, yes.
Okay, so if we move if people moving every 7 years, that means 1/7 of your database is going to move this year. So if you have a list of 150 people, 1/7 of those 150 is going to move this year. That's 21 transactions this year if you have a list of 150 people. That's awesome. Okay. That's $210,000. Okay. This doesn't even account for referrals. Let's just say only 10% of the people of that list of 150 people, only 10% of them referred you somebody. That's 15 more transactions of $150,000. Okay. So of a list of 150 people, you could potentially have an income of $360,000 for the year just by managing 1 list of 150 people effectively. Okay, super important. It's eye-popping, and that's why we do this. So we can be reminded of all of it, and it doesn't take much. It doesn't take hardly any money, just content, consistency, and automation. Technology is awesome. You can utilize technology. You don't need to have a team of 5 people to help you do this, like you can do it by yourself, okay? So, we're gonna talk about this. So what if you don't have a list? I guarantee you know 200 people, okay? If you just stop to think about it, like literally sit down, even if it takes a week or 2 weeks, sit down and start making a list of everybody you know. Think about all the people you've ever been in contact with, all your circles that you're involved with, you know, your gym memberships, your church groups, your son or daughter's, athletic teams, your coworkers, your spouse's coworkers, their friends, family, all this. So think about even a wedding invitation list. Who would you invite if you were inviting, filling out a wedding invitation list for your daughter or your son? Who would you put on that list? These are the people that go on your list. Okay. All right. Go to Facebook. I don't know. Facebook got to figure it out. And if you don't have a Facebook account yet, get one. It's free. Okay. Or go to any social platform. Okay.
So bad that it brings me business.
Yeah. So the average Facebooker, if that's a word, 300 friends. I think that's probably a little bit higher now, but for some reason, every time I go onto Facebook, I see a list front and center. These are the people you know. Want to be their friend? Okay, click, right? So it's so easy. And they know, I don't know how they know, but I do know these people, but they knew it. And I'm connecting with them and make it so easy. So Facebook is a great way. Refer to Facebook, get your friend list and start making a list of your own. Okay. There's a backdoor hack, I guess you could say, to download contact info from your Facebook friend list, like you get like cell phones and emails and stuff. If you don't know how to do it, I have a gal in my office that does. I can connect you guys if you want.
Yeah.
It's a way to get everybody's cell phone and email address just from being their friend on Facebook. So we can connect later about that. But Facebook's a great way to get people on your list. Okay, email contacts. I mean, literally, I go into my email. I just have to type in 2 letters on the email, and I get a list of people that start with the 2 letters. Go in the back of your email platform and figure out all those people you've ever sent an email to. It has a list of all those people. Grab those, put them on your list. Okay. So these are, I guarantee you, if you thought about it and spent a little bit of time, you can come up with a list. That's step number 1. So get your list. All right. So today we're going to talk about basics, which are still good. And we'll talk about those, but also we're going to talk about some more technology and next level stuff. But we're going to talk about actually just picking up the phone and calling. Traditional, pick up the phone, make a phone call. Okay. Maybe email marketing or snail mail marketing, things like that. These are traditional, time tested, maybe not as effective.
I do 3 to 6 emails a day.
Okay. I like it.
This takes me all of drive a note.
Yep. Good.
Stand by.
Like it. Okay. Yeah. Like you just handwrite notes to be perfect.
Let's just 6 max.
Yeah.
Minimum 3.
Okay. We're gonna talk about Facebook and social strategies, video marketing, things like that. And text messaging is a big thing. How can we use text messaging with our marketing efforts? And then, there's different things like client appreciation events, which is great, great social media or great social lubrication and getting things, great ways to build relationships, pop-by gifts, things like that. So let's go back and talk to one of the main basics, which is actually just picking up the phone, traditional, pick up the phone, make a phone call. So I have to tell you, the last year or so with interest rates going up and, business going down, and we have more time on our hands, right? So I've been calling like a madman, and I've got all these people on my list, and it's funny, like a lot of these people, I literally haven't talked to for years. They get stuff from me like emails and stuff like that, but I haven't talked to them for a long time. And it's fun. I'll be honest. It's actually, you just call them and they're like, hey, And I go, yeah, you may not remember me, but we did a deal together a while back. Oh, I totally remember you. And we just sit and chat literally for like 5 or 10 minutes. And it's a great reconnection. You get a lot of voicemails, not gonna lie, a lot of, which is fine. They still listen to their voicemails, okay? But some people do pick up the phone, you can actually talk to them. And, they may or may not, more often than not, they're not gonna be like, hey, I wanna buy a house. They're not gonna say that on that phone call. But you always ask the question, hey, can you do me a favor? Sure, what do you need? Well, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers that wanna buy, sell, or refinance or something like that in the next year, just let me know. And they always say, absolutely, you're awesome. We'd love to work with you again, yada, yada. So it's a great question to ask. It gets them thinking about it. And then down the road, you're gonna get those phone calls. I always have a reason for my phone call, like, hey, how's the summer going? Or, sometimes I have an email that goes out or something of value that goes out to them, or something or other. I have a reason that I can point to with my phone call. So it's not a weird, awkward conversation, but it's been fun. I literally spend 2 or 3 hours a day because I have the time making phone calls. So, and it's been great. So, call reluctance is a real thing. As soon as you start making that first phone call, that first one is the hardest one. It is hard. Making that first phone
every
call.
freaking day. I don't know why, but I have.
Yeah, I know.
I was like,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, after you make that first phone call or even the second
I
one,
struggle with that.
it's like all that just leaves your brain and your body. You're like, this is awesome. You just go, right? And there's tons of voicemails. You're not talking to everybody. You leave a bunch of voicemails, but every once in a while you get somebody on the phone and it's great. And you make a connection and they're excited. Okay. So anyways, I would really recommend doing this if you have the time. Have a reason to call, like maybe happy birthday, daylight savings, anniversary call every year on their anniversary, give them a call, say hello. Maybe just update them on the market, maybe a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays call or Happy 4th of July or whatever, a reason for the phone call. I love doing a client appreciation events because it's a great reason to make a phone call, right? You have an event at Cowabunga Bay or Top Golf or something like that. That's a perfect reason to make a phone call. Like, hey, we'd love to have you join us. We got a ticket for you at Cowabunga Bay. Or at the movie theater for the movie night, or whatever you have. It's a great, easy phone call, and people love it.
The client who's moving businesses.
What's that?
And the client who's moving businesses, I'm like, I got $5,000 to spend on the deal. Can you give me, you obviously give me a discount, the deal we thing. And that was a great success.
Okay.
Huge success. And now his business moved to 4,000 people on the database. And
Super smart.
very call out.
Yeah.
Everybody, and it helped the business, it helped name recognition for me. He's like, you don't need to do that. No, it's a selfish reason. I'm making $43,000 in 6 months, specifically from that campaign.
Nice. Yeah. I love it.
Awesome.
Can I take you with me to one of these classes? All these classes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome examples. So.
Just write them down, say, well, Ted would say.
Yeah.
This.
Okay.
And my client was billion, and I wrote him a check. I'm like, I don't know. It's like, you didn't spend all that money. I'm like, it wasn't about the money it's given to you. It's a marketing campaign.
Yeah.
I don't care about if you can cook meals or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you bought like gift certificates for his place? Is that what it
I
was?
made out of flyers saying, present this to him, and you'll get a $8 discount on the meal.
So you just made your own, you did.
And he agreed to a certain price for a certain meal. I gave 3 options. So the all equaled out, and I wrote him a check for $5,000, and he's like, you're probably gonna use $2,000 of your, you didn't make any money. I'm like, I'm in, I did a lot, thank you.
Yeah.
When can we do it again?
That's awesome. No, that's a great idea. Some of us
Nice.
know other people.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Has anybody ever heard of phone burner? So phone burner is it's a dialing system. If you're gonna start making phone calls, if you got a list of hundreds of people that you gotta make a phone call to, I'd recommend a dialing system. It can be phone burner, it could be anything. But what this is you basically upload your list like from an Excel spreadsheet, upload it into the system in phone burner. And then that list has got the, the name and the phone number and the email usually. And then literally the system dials for you. So you're not actually taking your fingers and dialing on your phone. And then waiting for it to ring. Like the system is dialing everyone for you. All you do is sit there and wait for someone to pick up. And if someone doesn't pick up, then you have a pre-recorded voice message that leaves that message for you on their phone.
Was that how it works?
Yeah, it leaves it like leaves a message for you, and then while it's doing that, it's already dialing the next person. So all you do is sit there, and you watch every time on the screen. You can see who they're dialing, and so when someone picks up, you know who you're going to be talking to. It literally takes off so much time on phone calls. So it's a great investment. It's not free. I say maybe 50 or 60 bucks a month to get something like this, but I'm telling you, it'll save tons of time and it's worth it. So just a plug for Phone Burner. I don't get any kind of kickback for Phone Burner, but it's the system that I use and it works. Imagine what your business would look like if you made an additional 300 calls a month and it all took a total of about 5 hours or about 1 hour and 15 minutes a week. Okay. So I'll take an hour a week and get through maybe 300 calls a month. And I guarantee it's gonna be great. You'll get the phone calls back. Okay. Let's talk about email and snail mail. First, let's talk about email. If you're going to do email marketing, make sure it's automated. I have to say, don't spend too much time creating your own emails and sending emails out yourself. Okay, email marketing has its place, but does anybody know the open rate of an average email, like a marketing email?
30.
Okay, that would be awesome.
It's 9.
Yeah,
It's really good.
What's that?
9 is really good.
Yeah.
Is what I've heard.
And that would be good. Yeah.
Get like
It's
35 to 45.
you do? Nice. Not that bad.
But I also have used some companies that,
CRM.
yeah, that allows you to resend to unopens, so it,
Oh, okay. So it's got some cool technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they open it so you quit sending them?
no.
Yeah.
I sent the quarterly newsletter with the quarterly reports come out on the MLS.
Okay.
I've been doing that for years.
Okay.
That's the only email I send.
Okay. Hey, if it's an email, awesome. Like I said, just make sure get a system that loads the content for you. You don't have to spend hours putting content together for every email that goes out, and then have it it goes out for you, like done for you type thing. So it's a good way to do it, but don't spend too much time. If you can find one that's automated, that's the best way. I mean, people have to see who the email is from in order to delete it. So there's name recognition there, but usually they're not opening it. It's usually less than 10% unless you have a really good system like what you've got. So that's on email. If possible, don't send real estate info all the time. And this is maybe a plug for a lot of different types of marketing, like social media marketing or video marketing or whatever. Maybe, you got to talk about real estate every once in a while, but maybe stay away from real estate on every single time that you show up. Maybe focus on something that's funny, humorous, educational, inspirational, whatever. People already know you're a realtor. You don't want to push them away because you're forcing real estate down their throats every time you show up in front of their face on their phone. What's that?
You can promote other people, yeah.
Okay.
In other words, a soft approach to say, hey, I know a lot of you guys are going through some changes. There's a great guy that's been, I've been working for years or gal, and this is the doing, just give them a quick call, if you have any questions, and just let it go, it's up the top. Then you can say, oh, I went to Calvin's, or I went to, whatever, and had a great time. Just little things.
I put one of my son's music, he's in band, and he's got over all of things qualified, monthly business. And it's like, hey, my son just released a new song.
Okay.
Do me a favor and give me a listen. Let me know if you have music.
Yeah.
And then now he's talking to Referrals.
Okay.
So I use my database to also help with his.
Nice. I like it. Okay. I say farm this out. These are things you can have other folks do for you. I always say focus on the activities that are money making activities. Like, you want to work on the $100 per hour activities. And if somebody, you can pay someone $10 an hour to do the same stuff, do that. And then you go back to the $100 per hour activities, like actually making phone calls or, pop buys or things that actually generate business. But if you can farm stuff out, and pay someone very little to do it, that's what I would do, okay? Okay, here's the first keyword of the 3 keywords. So those of you online, the keyword is snail mail, okay? The keyword is snail mail. I guess that's 2 keywords. All right, okay, moving on. We talk about systems that automate, like you've got an awesome system that automates your emails and has a really cool way of doing it. They get a really good overview. There's dozens of different types of systems, or we call them CRMs, contact relationship management systems. They really help. If you have a CRM, they can keep all your contacts in one place. You can keep track of them, their birthdays, their anniversaries, when they bought their home. You know, what you talked about the last time you talked to them. You know, did they go on a trip? Did they have a baby? You know, these are things you can put in there as notes, and the next time you talk to them, you can ask them about it. Those types of things. A good CRM typically has an automated email system. Lots of them have texting that go along with the CRM that's automated, which is awesome. A lot of them now have video marketing integrated with the CRM. So these are just some, like literally there's dozens. I would recommend, if you don't already have one, I'd recommend just Googling CRM for realtors. You'll have tons that you can look at. Find one that fits your budget, find one that meets your needs, or maybe ask around, find an agent that has one that has like pieces. Anybody have a CRM that they like?
I used Real Geeks forever, then they increased the price.
What is it?
Real Geeks.
Oh, Real Geeks, okay.
And then I went back to Pro Agent.
Okay, Pro Agent. Okay, awesome. I have one, but it's not realtor specific. It's more for mortgage professional. It's called Bonzo, and it's got texting, it's got video, it's got email automation. There's lots of cool things that I really enjoy using, but anyways, there's lots to choose from, but I'd recommend getting one. It would really help. Okay. Okay, let's talk about video really quick. I don't want to spend too much. Like I said earlier, I've got a full hour CE class dedicated just to video, so I could go forever on this. But does anybody in here do video marketing already? No? Okay.
You see this face?
Yeah.
No.
It's against my religion.
What's that? Social media, video, social media? Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Anything that's video, social media, or whatever. Okay. Awesome. I love it.
Well, if I'm fishing, yeah, that doesn't count.
If you're fishing,
Yeah.
like you do videos while you're fishing,
Yeah,
What does count?
that's awesome.
yeah.
Throw in a little real estate plug while you're fishing or something like that. Yeah, or not.
Sure.
People love watching video. They love it. And they'll watch your video more than they'll read a post.
You keep it short. You don't.
Keep it short.
An hour long.
Yep.
So you can make a couple of seconds. So it's like Facebook, you got the little one that runs you through it quickly.
Right.
That I did the fishing like you said, and I got Robbie's, where you at, what are you doing, Zach? I said, well, I don't know, let's get together.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
I'll give a little plug for Ian on our team. He does a good job, huh? You started shaking your head, not knowing to say. He likes to go on hikes, and he's always on the trails and stuff, so he does trail talks with Ian's when he's up in the mountain. Sometimes it's like, guess where I am.
It's just exploding because like, I can't keep 30 seconds of real estate information. So
It's not always about real estate, though.
No, it's like, on my trip to Colorado, I posted it and it was an amazing weekend trip. It was like, all right, a stupid trail accident that was so dumb on a dirt bike. It was comical. It's like filming my son on the GoPro coming back and rescuing me.
Yeah, you had to film that.
Yeah, that was for
And
embarrassment.
they want to see your shoot.
But it's pretty engaging because he's already got followers that are into the same types of things that he is, and he's gotten good business from it.
Perfect. So let's run through some video ideas. You know, instead of just writing an email saying thank you, hey, thanks for letting me, for trusting me with your real estate needs. That's just an email. Like, why not do a video? A thank you, if it's 20 seconds long. Just do a thank you video, text it to them, that sort of thing. Maybe do a video, something having to do with the home buying process, maybe the inspection. You're explaining an inspection and in the process of an inspection. You can even bring your favorite inspector in with you. I'm sure he'd love it. Do a quick video, 1 or 2 minutes with your inspector talking about what to expect, all of the cost, all the things that happen with the inspection. And that way you're not sitting there talking about an inspection again and again and again with every single buyer, because that conversation probably gets really old really fast. Just send them a video and say, watch this and let me know if you have any questions. Okay?
Anyway, if you got a HVAC guy or you got an electrician. I would
Yes.
say, hey, you know, I know it's hard to find a good one. I don't recommend too many because it represents me. That's
Yeah.
how I say it. But this guy here seems to be really well. He's done many of my properties. And then we turn it over to him. Now he's thinking, number one, I said many of my properties, then I'm thinking, well, what's he doing? And even though you're a realtor. But yeah, it's a big deal. But you're also promoting other people and then they're saying, hey, I got this good agent that I do a lot of work for.
Yeah.
He seems to be good. So if you help people out, keep it short, don't even have to say much.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
You got it. Perfect.
The other thing I did really well back when I was #1 ERA with lemons and all that stuff back in the day. We would do Thanksgiving and we would do, so many people came in the door, they got a turkey, they go pick it out. And then if they actually signed up on something, we give another gift certificate for movies for family, whatever. And you won't believe that we had 35, 40 people at a time. And I had the lender involved and I had the title company.
Back in the.
We had all three of us there standing up on the chalkboard writing it out, and you won't believe that. I haven't did it for a long time. It's time to do something.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. that sounds
You
awesome.
get everybody involved, and now everybody's faced there. But the other thing is you can say title company. You're gonna go toward older people that are retired and going to buy one. Say, hey, this title company, this now, get out here, the title company can help you. You know, redo your title stuff, redo your dates and everything,
Yeah.
and she'll get you right in there to take care of it. Oh, yeah, I need to do that for my mom, I need to do that for. So it just gets your name out there.
Love it. Yes, thank you. I'm gonna kind of go through these slides maybe a little faster than I normally would, because we're running short on time. We've got some amazing good discussion going and I love it. But I don't want to keep it longer than an hour, right? So so there's like a congratulations video. It's a great way to do a video. You know, a weekly or monthly video tip through email. It's great, you know, maybe nothing real estate related, but regular stuff that people can use, like maybe a monthly app that you've discovered, like an awesome app on your phone. Let people know about an app you've discovered or whatever, like household things that would help them. Video texts are awesome, video emails. So I put this in here. This is called Fiverr.com. Anybody heard of Fiverr.com? I think it's getting more popular. It used to be people had no idea. Basically, you could, if you don't want to edit your video, for example, you could go to Fiverr. This is basically a platform where anybody throughout the entire world can solicit their services. And you can choose them to do stuff for you and pay them like $5 or $10 or something like that. And for example, this is the homepage. You type in edit video, click search. 1,700 people are willing to edit my video for $5. And this is so I don't spend 2 hours trying to figure out how to edit the dang video. I can have someone else do it for me and have it back within 24 hours. Okay? It's a great cheap way.
I like that.
So that's not sure spending money. I do that.
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, so Fiverr is great. So keep that, just be careful. You kind of get sucked in, kind of like Facebook, you get sucked into something like this. And you find out all these really cool things that you can do, having nothing to do with real estate. You end up spending like $100 by the time you're done. So anyways, just that's Fiverr. Video ideas, for example, I looked at this morning. I thought, man, I look really young. This was a long time ago. Okay, so, but I've been doing video for a little while. So I've got, you know, these are like a weekly or a monthly video tip email that I used to do, for example. This is one that I recommend doing now when it's like an about me type video where someone can go on who's never met me in person. They can go on there and get to know me within 2 minutes. But they get to see my family, you know, what my hobbies are. Yeah, and then of course I talk about, you know, real estate and whatnot, you know, my professional life as well. But I have this basically on my email signatures, my social platforms, my website. So if someone wants to get to know me, they can just by looking at a video. So that's a good, maybe a first video to start with if you want to start doing video. Okay. Sensations is a great way to do like snail mail. Has anybody heard of sensations before? So you've seen the recipe cards, the postcards, the recipe cards. That's Sensations. I'm sure there's other companies that do it, but Sensations has been around for decades. They do a really good job. Super easy. You just upload your list of people with their addresses. You prepay for the printing for the entire year. You pick which 12-month campaign you want of postcards. and then they send it out for you, and you just pay for the postage monthly. Okay, the printing costs are way cheaper than what you get at Kinko's or wherever you go, and they do it for you. And it's full bleed, color, front and back. It's an awesome recipe. And people a lot of times don't like the recipes, they throw it away, but there's gonna be 1 or 2 recipes that they love. And they keep it in their kitchen drawer, it's gonna be in there for years because they love that recipe. Okay. So Send Stations is a great, maybe do a way to do it, like 1 or 2 12-month, 12 or 24 months worth of postcards if you want to get that going. So, okay, second keyword is videos. Okay, for those of you online, keyword number 2 is video. All right, moving forward. I'm gonna skip this slide because we don't have a lot of time. It's just a funny story, but we can talk about it later. Let's talk about snail mail. One thing that I've learned when I send out letters in the mail, and I actually still do this. I think it's a great way. I do 1 letter every other month. So 6 times a year, somebody gets a letter from me. But what we've learned is a lot of times people don't open the letter when you send it to them. That's kind of the problem, right? People throw away letters if they don't feel like it's worthwhile opening it. So what you do is you make the letter bulky. So when you get a letter in the mail, if there's something weird that makes the envelope bulky, you probably want to open it, right? So put something in it that makes the envelope bulky, the bulky envelope. That way they want to open it because they're curious. They want to open it up. What's this thing in this envelope? And we typically put things in there that doesn't drive the cost up of the letter. The postage is the same. And it's usually maybe a 10-cent knickknack or something super cheap. We did, one time I think we spent 50 cents per item, but for the springtime, we went on Amazon and found like little seed packets for flowers. And we put a seed packet in the envelope, and it was the springtime mailer that we did, right? Anyways, we sent that out. We got so many people telling us they loved it and that they were excited to get it. They did it with their kids. In fact, the last time we did a seed packet was, we didn't do one for this spring, we did one the previous spring. I talked to somebody on the phone in my phone calls that I do. She said, you know what? We got your seed packet over a year ago, and I did it with my kids and they loved it. It was the biggest hit. So now we go out and get our own seeds every spring, just because what you did, and they loved it every single year. So it was just because I sent that stupid seed packet. It was like 50 cents, put it in there, and it was worth it. So, so what I do for snail mail is get the bulky envelope thing, put anything like candy, pennies, whatever, something that makes them curious to open it, and then they see what you said. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, text messaging. Don't you love text messaging? It's so convenient. I love it. Oh, you don't like it?
I block numbers. If I don't know who you are and send me a text like that, I block you.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but you have to see it.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
And then block.
Okay.
Block.
Well, typically, if someone's gonna get a text from me, they already know how I am.
How many NRAs, how many insurance people do we know for health insurance?
Right.
Getting text messages.
About 6 a week.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't like my text messages?
So it's basically a guaranteed open rate, 100%. They're gonna open it, they're gonna see who it's from, and they're gonna decide if they want to respond or would delete, whatever. It's fast for you and for them. It's easy way to communicate. You can get things. So like my CRM that I have has a texting feature to it where I can do a group text to 5,000 people if I want. Boom. And every person that gets that text, they think it's an individual text because it's personalized. It goes out and says, hey, John, ... And then when they respond,
and then they respond back, and they can't respond back to you.
Yeah. and then when they respond, it's an individual conversation. But the initial text is really easy. Just click a button, boom, everybody gets it, and then I can spend the next little while just having a conversation, right? And it's on my computer, so I can type. I have to sit there with my thumbs on my phone. So texting is a great way to stay in touch with people. I know of plenty of realtors.
Accidentally went off at 3 a.m. That was bad.
Yeah. You gotta time it right. You don't want. Yeah, you gotta be respectful for sure. Make sure they don't go off on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
And things like that. So, I've talked to very successful realtors that, close dozens and dozens of transactions a year that don't do any marketing except for texting. They just, every day they send out a text, maybe the first day of the month is to all the A's on their list, all the A letters for their name, boom, they have a conversation, and the next day, the B's and stuff, and that's all they do. And they close mass amounts of business, and they're sending texts that just, just like funny, maybe inspirational, maybe just conversation type, like, let's talk about what happened with the Jazz last night. What, did you go on fishing yet this year? I went this last weekend, it was awesome. Like, just stuff that people can be like, oh no, where'd you go? All that, just a conversation, then people get to know you and you can text. And then the best part is they know how to reach you. They go into their texts, they, oh, we're gonna call him, right? So.
Pictures is very, very important.
What's that?
Pictures with this page. I used to buy business card. I told every agent you need picture and your card. You don't remember names.
Yeah.
You remember faces.
Yeah,
That's the older people. So.
yeah,
Good picture of you on there. Then the next you know, they put it on there and it's stuck and they, oh, that's scarier.
yeah.
Works out.
Okay, so we talked about monthly texts, maybe happy birthday text, video text. Wait, what? Video text? Remember, video, we can do a quick 10-second, 15-second video and text it. See the benefit of texting and video and face recognition. Awesome. Okay. Make sure to use a texting app or software. That really helps. Plan appreciation events. I know you guys do these a lot. I think it's fantastic. Appreciation events. It's a great way to get
The whole theater, because nobody likes the front row and it's cheaper. Why reserve tickets for your clients in the best seats? And say, this is not reserved theaters, but you have your reserved seats. I'm gonna hand drop them. And then I'm gonna be out in the lobby. So because when you reserve, you can do the whole thing. I'm gonna be out in the lobby and talk to your wife when you come in. So you're not a rush and everything else. Other than that, and it saved me quite a bit of money because I'm not buying crap.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So this is an image. We did a theater rental. The only downside of theaters.
Talk to the manager and get a discount.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a great thing. Well, we did it is we had the whole theater rented and the only downside is you don't get to interact with them while they're watching the movie. Like you have maybe a few minutes before if you're lucky, and then maybe afterwards. But for us, the value is not in the event itself, but it can be, because the way you guys do it is awesome. But the phone calls telling them about the event, asking for referrals leading up to the event.
I hand picked the tickets. And so my cost is in front.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, anybody heard of Slide Out before? Okay, awesome. I use this all the time. It's a ringless voicemail. So if you ever have to call somebody and you just don't want to talk to them, but you have to call them anyways, just use Slide Dial. It's gonna go right to their voicemail and you leave a message. Okay.
I don't spam when I delete it. I don't listen to it,
Okay.
but I hate that shit.
All right.
That's me.
So slide broadcast is another, so slide dial. Let's say you want to wish them a happy birthday if you don't have time to talk to them. Slide out, okay? Let's say you want to wish a Merry Christmas, but you don't want to talk to everybody, but you want to do a slide out, pre-record your voice message on slide broadcast. This is the platform that lets you send out, any amount at one time, thousands in one click, thousands of voicemails in one click. You just pre-record the voice message. The slide out is a 1-to-1, right? This is for a lot of people at one time. So like if you want to wish a Merry Christmas or whatever, slide broadcast is a great way to do it. Super cheap, easy apps to get to know, very user-friendly. Pop by gifts. I'm really sorry. I'm forcing this stuff down your throat. I can't spend as much time. I'm trying to go fast, but pop by gifts are great. Popbyideas.com is a great resource. Like for example, a snowman making kit. There's snow business, like your referred business. Like what you do is you get this little cheap gift, a little saying on it, and hand it to you. It's a free thing, and people love it. Okay. There maybe a bird feeder. Don't let your next real estate deal ruffle your feathers. Okay. There are little gifts you can pop by and just give them some for free that they think is cute and that they like it. Kleenex pocket tissue. Nobody knows the real estate market like I do. Okay. Chapstick. Don't let your friends and family get chapped on their next real estate transaction. Make sure they get the protection they deserve and don't let my name be too far from your lips. Okay. Hand sanitizer for healthy transaction. or help the real estate transaction complicated. So these are things, has anybody done Popeyes before? Yeah, awesome. Okay. All right, so do you guys ever feel like this in your business? Like you feel like you're juggling 10 things at the same time and trying to manage your day, your hours and whatnot? I know I sometimes do, okay? Or do you ever feel like this? Where you're just like, you're the conductor, you're letting everybody else do the work, or letting everybody else make the music, okay? Which person makes better music? Does this guy make better music, or does this guy make better music? Okay. The conductor does. Which person makes more money? Probably the conductor. Which person has more freedom? Probably the conductor. Would you rather have 100% of a grape or 50% of a watermelon? Okay. So I bring this up because I've just talked about dozens of things, and there's no way we can do everything ourselves. But if you have just a little bit of help and are willing to spend a little bit of money, your business could explode. Okay. Don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money for a little bit of help. You know, I know that your high school age son or daughter, they're typically really good at technology and social media, right? Videos, things like that. I had a 12-year-old down the street help me stuff envelopes and stick address labels on my mailings. I paid him so little. I felt guilty, but he was more than happy. He got money and he was like, whoa, this is awesome. But he got it done within a few hours, right? And it was cheap. But these are things you can do to have other people help you and get the job done. That way you're not doing it yourself, okay? Yeah, but I can't afford an assistant. My answer to that is you can't afford not to have an assistant, okay? Right. All right. Will that assistant help me get more deals? If he's free your time so you can focus on the $100 per hour activities versus you focusing on the $10 per activity, he's gonna get you more deals, okay? All right, just to summarize really quick, call 3 times a year. Like this is basic stuff, but it works. They get on the phone, snail mail, email, video, social media, text messaging, client appreciation events, slide dial, slide broadcast, pop by gifts. Remember to automate it the best you can. My definition of automation is I'm not doing it. If I have someone else doing it, if it's technology or somebody else that I'm paying a little bit of money to do it, they're gonna get it done, because if it's up to me, I'm not gonna do it. I'm too busy, right? So remember to automate it. All right, and be consistent. All right, for those of you online, the last third of the keyword is consistency. Okay, so my question for everybody here, what's the one thing that maybe fits your personality? What's the one thing you got? What's the one nugget that you think you want to start implementing?
Automate it.
Automate it.
I'm a one-man show. I need to automate this.
Yes.
I need more fishy time.
Yeah. I think you and I need to go.
More video.
More video. Perfect. Love it.
Yeah, I need to do more video.
What else?
Can I ask you a question on the video? I mean, I see some vendors and some rules, just like on Instagram and all that. Like, they kind of like Facebook. I end up blocking so much. It's like every day, one video every day. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm the guy that's like, don't run the shit out of me. I know who you are. If you're good, I'm gonna use you. I'm that guy. But where do you keep name recognition and name annoying?
Yeah, every day is way too much. I mean,
How much would your window tint guy have to have done?
Yeah, none.
Think at it from that, yeah, what I'm saying is how much would he have had to have done for you to remember him that wouldn't have annoyed you?
It would have been convenient, probably a simple conversation if I was selling a song that week. It was most like, hey, got a new car, crapping in window tint. Wife's going to Boston. Perfect time to take the car.
what did he do?
Out of sight, out of mind is.
It was not sight, so yeah.
So what else? What are some other nuggets that you guys, we have video, we have automation, what else? What do you guys want to implement?
social media and business cards. I've given out even though I'm basically. I got a college business card with my wife and I just leave it and then you can also write out anything, you know, with business card. All your lists and everything you eat, take people out.
Totally.
I like to take people out and restaurants do something that I really like.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know I'm heavy set, they know that I probably eat pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
Hey Spencer from the chat, Nikki asked, all the automation sounds great for my workload, but what about the personal touch? I think that's pretty important too. Is there a way to do the automated messages, et cetera, and still have a personal feel?
Like the automated, like emails and automated, things like that. You know,
It takes 5 minutes to type that personal touch to send out to 4,000 people.
yeah, if you're doing auto,
And what I have is like, I've got a schedule of when they go out, so I type those emails out.
Yeah,
And that's also why I do the handwritten, you know.
yeah,
six
thinking of,
cards.
yeah,
I think she's thinking more of like a canned response that's maybe impersonal versus what that's talking about, write out a personal message and automate the distribution of it.
yeah, I'll be honest, my email marketing, you know, I don't have time to do a personal message on every, you know. So my automated things a lot of times is canned, but where they get the more personal messages is, you know, my social posts, my videos. You know, I've got this my about me video. They can always connect with me on that video. They can get to know me on a personal level. Yeah, the text messaging strategy, you know, although it goes out, if you have your platform where the texts that go out are personalized with their first name, for example, it's a personalized text message to them with their first name, but then when they respond, you can get more personal when you have that conversation. You know, my phone calls that I reach out to my client database that way too. I don't know if that is an answer to your question, but it's hard to get personalized, each individual personalized when you're automating something to a mass audience. So you just have to sprinkle in personalization, maybe through video, maybe do a video email where they can see you on a personal level and get to know you on a personal level. So yeah, that would be my response.
Cool.
Anyways, I think our time's up. So we're a little bit over time even. So I appreciate you guys letting me come here. We've got lunch. My guy Robert just barely dropped off sandwiches. So
Okay, wait, before we break, CE class is over. Spencer has also sponsored lunch here today, so I want you to just kind of give your business a little plug.
Yeah.
Tell them a little bit about your mortgage business.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So yeah, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate you letting me come here. So I do these classes. Obviously, we don't get, you know, most CE instructors don't get paid to do these things. I do this to get in front of you awesome people, right? I want to build relationships. I don't want to be the type of guy who's just gonna call and ask for business. Like, hey, send me your next deal, right? Give me your next deal. We're gonna work together, right? Like, I'd rather give something to you guys and start working with you in some form or fashion, and then we can build a relationship and then we can work together down the road. I've got staff in my office that can help with a lot of the stuff that we've talked about today. I've got, you know, if you need some help stuffing envelopes or ideas on videos or CRMs or automation, data entry, I have a virtual assistant who lives in the Philippines. I've had her for 8 or 9 years, and she's awesome, and she would love to help and step in. If you could tap into my resources to help you guys build your business, let me know. Whatever that one thing is that helps you guys build, you know, they want to start implementing, I want to help you. Let's have a conversation.
Awesome.
Yeah. So and then we can start working together. That's my goal, is to help you make more money, because if I'm helping you make more money, I'm going to make more money myself as well. So anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do they send you those keywords?
Send those keywords to my email, Spencer@unifiedlending.com. Spencer@unifiedlending.com. And those of you online, so I didn't say this before, but we need the name, license number, and email.
Okay, so yeah, so the keywords, when you email that to the email address there on the screen, hopefully you all can see that. You're obviously emailing it to him, but include your license number.
Yeah.
And email signature.
Yeah, that's right. So.
So they're emailing you, so you
Yeah.
should have, yeah.
Yep.
Let me see a little quicker. So we've got just a couple more slides for you guys that are there on Zoom. If you want to just look, we do these every week. We do these classes every week. If you want to register, you can see, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks out in advance of what's coming up, and you'll get reminders as it approaches closer. We'd love to have you do that. If you I think that one was a link to the page probably that shows what's coming up. This next one, I'm going kind of fast, but you'll get it on that page if you want to go there. This one goes right to subscribe. You can subscribe and we'll send you out little notifications each week of what classes are coming up. And we'd love to have you in person. We're gonna say goodbye to you guys on Zoom now, but we're gonna hang around and have some lunch and visit and network. And so thanks for coming. Love you all. Just reach out if I can do anything for you. See you guys. Bye, Kathy. See you, Patricia.